So in my second year of graduate school, my apartment was destroyed by a house fire, an electrical fire that started in the middle of the night. In the morning, my home was completely gone, and I'd lost literally everything that I owned. Everything except for my bicycle, which I found out later had been pulled out of the house by firefighters. The metallic blue frame was covered in soot. The seat was a little barbecued. But even so, our reunion was one of the happiest moments of my life. To commute to work, to get to class, to go apartment hunting in the middle of the day. And without it, I really don't think I would have survived those weeks, that period of time in my life. And one Monday morning, I got up to go to work, but as I walked out of my friend's apartment building, I looked up, and my bicycle wasn't there. It was gone, nowhere to be found, and my heart just sank. And it had just respawned from a fire that took everything else away from me. And so in that moment, it really felt like I had lost a dear friend all over again. But as I walked, that emptiness I felt in my chest started to fill up with anger. And eventually, my dialogue with myself became, no, this can't be happening. This isn't happening. I don't have a home. I don't have clothes. I have nothing. And now I have to walk to work too. And so instead of going straight to work that morning, I started to look for my bicycle. Because I think in my mind, my logic was, it must have been taken by somebody in the neighborhood who's seen it parked here over the course of a month. And for almost the next 3 hours, I don't know what I thought would happen, but I just wandered aimlessly around the surrounding neighborhoods, scoping out driveways and alleyways. And guess what? No luck. And just as I was about to give up, I saw it. Chained to a fence, the seat post had been removed, but I went up to it, and sure enough, there it was. So naturally, I decided to sit down across the street and to wait for the person who took it to come back. As I was rehearsing in my mind, all right, what am I going to say when this person finally comes? I saw a guy exit an adjacent building and walk toward my bike. And so with a deep breath, I was like, all right, here we go. I walked up and I was like, excuse me? I think that's my bike. And this guy looked at me with contempt and told me to get lost. And this time when I was like, I'm pretty sure that's my bike, he shoved me, and then he said to me, yo, fuck off, chink. Yeah. That word has a deafening effect, doesn't it? But actually, if you'd been there, it wasn't quiet at all, because what you would have actually heard was, yo, fuck off, chink, followed by, which was the sound of me clobbering this guy in the face and knocking him to the ground. He kicked me, I shoved him, he got up, started to run, I chased after him, I tackled him, I got him to the ground, and I just went off like, what did you just say? Like, yo, is that my bike? Did you steal my bike? What did you call me again? Yo, stay down, don't move. Finally, he relented and was like, all right, I'm sorry. And I sort of let go, and I was like, all right, good. We have an understanding. He admitted it. And now I was like, what do I do now? And I was like, all right. So I figured I've got to get his identification, right? So I just screamed, give me your wallet! Thank God nobody else was walking by, because as soon as those words came out of my mouth, I was like, oh, Jesus, I look like I'm mugging this guy. In the end, I did get his wallet. I was able to take a photo of his ID. I recorded his phone number, and I got my bike back in one piece. a couple weeks after this, I was hanging out with some friends, and I told them the story that I just told you. But when I got to the end, my friend Michael became upset at me. This guy stole your bike, called you a racial slur, and you just let him go? And so I didn't know what I was supposed to do. But my friend's comments really started to bother me. And then in the days that followed, they started to eat away at me little by little. And I started thinking, did I do the wrong thing? Did I let this guy off too easy? I called my bike thief friend back. As soon as he answered, I just let loose again. I was like, hey, remember me? I'm the guy whose bike you stole. You called me a chink, remember? And after I calmed down, I went on to say to him, you know, you and me, we're not done. I'm not going to report you to the police, but you're going to have to come down to Chinatown with me and do some community service. Yeah, it's the best idea I had. But to my surprise, he actually showed up on the day that I told him to come. And for an afternoon, we volunteered as tutors for an after-school program. I also introduced him as my friend to some people that I knew. And as a result, he began socializing more with others. And it was actually quite heartwarming to see him connect with people in the Chinatown community. At the end of the day, he thanked me and told me again that he was very sorry for everything. We shook hands, we parted ways, and that was the last time I saw him. So I've told this story only one other time in a public setting. And that time, I ended it by saying, yeah, the lesson here is you don't fuck with Asians. I decided that my initial message isn't complete. The strongest part of this story isn't the first half, where I hit a guy because he wronged me. It's the second half, where I reconnected with that person and hopefully changed his thinking a little. And while both halves of this story may be necessary, it's really the second half that packs the punch. For myself, this experience taught me that I still need to be mindful of racism and discrimination because it's still far too common in our society. And I think in recent years, it's intensified and gotten worse. I want to amend my message and say that as we all stand up against discrimination and inequality, even if our first reaction is anger and force, our final action will hopefully have reason and confidence. But when we respond and when we fight back, we should fight back like a bolt of lightning. Strong and intimidating, but elegant and graceful. Powerful and intense, but beautiful and magnificent at the same time. And at the moment of impact, when we stand up, when we make our voices heard, I think we too can light up the whole world around us, even for a second, with our hope, with our message, with our conversations, that in the end, I believe will affect change in this world. Thank you.